What's going on, guys? My name is Zeus. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to remove the dashboard on a 2005 Infiniti G35 Coupe. So before you remove the dashboard, you're going to have to do a few things. You're going to have to remove the radio, the glove box, upper and lower, and the steering wheel gauge cluster. So to remove the radio, it's pretty extensive. I'm just going to show you guys how to do this step by step. First things first, remove the shift knob. You're just going to unscrew it, pull it off. It's good. After that, what you're going to want to do is just pick up on this right here. If you have a manual transmission, lift it up. You might have to wiggle it out a bit. It's a lot easier if you guys actually put it in fourth gear before you guys try to take this off. Once you have the shifter panel assembly off, there's going to be two electrical plugs, one for the hazard lights and then one for the cigarette lighter. Once you have that uninstalled, you're going to look down, and inside of here you're going to see a screw on both sides. Mine only has one, but you're just going to unscrew this in order to take off this side trim panel. So in order to take off this side trim, you're gonna have to take off this silver trim. In order to do that, mine is already busted, but I suggest you guys go to AutoZone and pick up the plastic panel remover tools. You're just gonna wedge it in there and then pry it off all the way across. Once you have that removed, you can simply grab the top and pull it off. If you have any resistance, make sure you're using your tools. Same thing with the other side. You're going to want to take off your clock assembly. What you're going to do is grab the flap up top and pull straight out. There's a plastic trim piece that goes around. You want to grab that and pull it up. Once you've done that, you're going to want to remove that screw before you attempt to pull out the radio. You're going to want to take out these side screws, one here, and two on the other side. Then there's also going to be two in the bottom. 4 screws that are going to be on the side are going to remove the faceplate. Take the faceplate off, and then there's going to be one electrical clip on the back. You're going to want to remove 2 bolts, one inside of here, one inside of here. Once you've done that, the radio assembly will be ready to slide forward. Don't pull back too far because there's still electrical connectors on the back. So you're just going to remove all of the electrical connectors that are going to be on the back of your head unit, making sure that you're labeling all of them so you know where they go. Okay, that's what a removed radio of a G35 looks like. Make sure you're labeling everything. If you need to, get a Ziploc bag and label all of your screws and where they went. Once you have the radio uninstalled, you're going to want to come over to your side panel on the door and remove this. You're just going to lift straight up on it. Once you have that removed, what you're going to want to do is just lift off the side trim here so you gain access to the screws that are going to be on the side. Reach underneath, and you're going to want to remove this panel that's going to be at the bottom of your dashboard. Once you have this panel removed, you'll have access to the 2 bolts that you're going to need to remove. One is in the back here, and the other is going to be right here. But in order to reach this one, you're going to have to remove this plastic piece here. It's going to be a screw top. You'll be able to pull this panel off. Remove this screw up top here. Open up your glove box. You have 2 screws up top in the middle for the latch, one here on this side, and then one more over here. You're also going to have 1 screw hiding up top. I'll go ahead and take a picture of that so you guys can see it. Your dashboard will almost be ready to come out, but you have 1 more screw in there. Once you have your dashboard dropped, make sure that you guys remove all of your connecting plugs, label them so you don't forget where they go, and also bag all of your parts. Once you have the lower glove box removed, there's going to be a screw here, 2 screws on the lower side of the upper dash box. So imagine this trim being off, the bottom glove box being off, and this upper trim being off. What you're going to do is grab this entire piece and pull it straight out. You're gonna have to probably use the trim removal tool and pry it out a bit all the way across and on the bottom, and you're just gonna pull the whole upper glove box straight out. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to remove the gauge cluster. The first bolt you're gonna want to remove is behind the hood latch. If you lift up behind there, you'll see the first screw. After you have the hood latch removed, you're gonna look underneath the steering wheel itself, and you'll see two holes, one here and one here. The third hole you're gonna want to look out for is gonna be this one at the bottom. After which you're gonna want to remove this plastic ring around the key cluster. Lift the trim off the side to gain access. Once you have the 3 screws and 1 bolt removed, you can pull the panel off the bottom. Next step is to remove this metal brace. There's going to be a bolt on this side and a bolt on that side. Go ahead and lower down these 2 bars to adjust the steering wheel and pull the panel. With a little bit of force, grab the bottom end of this panel and separate the upper from the lower. On each end of the steering wheel, there's going to be a knob for the turn signals and for the windshield wipers. There's going to be a white tab on the top and on the bottom. Push down the tab and pull out. On the right side for the windshield wipers, there is going to be an electrical plug. Go ahead and pull that out and set it off to the side, and do the same to the other side. Click the bottom, click the top, and pull clean out. Once that is removed, look for these black screws on each end of the steering wheel. One there and one there. You're also going to have to remove the electrical plug that is for your side mirrors. Once you have all of that removed, you can at this point pull your gauge cluster out, but on the back side there are going to be connectors. So at this point you can now remove everything from the bottom here. You're going to have to remove the wire for your hood latch. You're going to have to remove all of the wires for your controls, your OBD2, and your vent. So I don't want to risk damaging the plastic clips for the hood latch, so I'm actually just going to let this hang down. I found it a lot easier to just remove the screws for these instead of actually trying to remove the clips. And then on this side, I did remove the electrical clip and just pull off the hose. To start removal of the dash, you're gonna want to remove this screw here, 1 screw here, and another screw here. There's gonna be a screw right here where your radio was, another screw right here, another right here, a big bolt for your airbag, and in this corner right here. You're gonna want to take off this side panel right here. In order to do that, there's a screw here and a screw back here. Next thing is removing the screw for this vent. Once you have the screw removed, you just simply pull the vent out. You're going to want to remove the A-pillar, pull, and gently wiggle. Do that to both sides. The next thing you're going to want to do is remove your clock assembly. There's going to be 2 screws that hold it in right there. Once you have those screws removed, you can now pull the radio off by pulling forward and remove the 1 electrical connector. And once you have that removed, you'll gain access to 1 screw in the back. So the next step is going to be a tricky one. This is where your plastic trim remover is going to come in handy. And pop the windshield defogger vent off. There is a cannon plug right here for the light detector. On the other side, you're going to do the same. Once you do that, it'll give you access to this screw right here and that screw right there. In order to get this plug off, I found it easier to go underneath. This is going to be a wire for it. Fish it all the way through, pull this up and through there, then you'll be able to gain access to unplug it. There are also 2 bolts in the back behind the vents, one on this side and one on that side. Next thing you're going to want to do is you want to lift the center console area off of the dashboard. Go ahead and get your plastic trim piece, pop up this panel in the back, and it'll give you access to these 3 bolts. Once you have the top piece removed, All you simply have to do is pull up on the back and on the front, slide it off. There are electrical connectors on the back. On the back of the center console towards the bottom where the seat is, there's going to be a tab right here, and on the other side you're going to pull off the plastic cap with a flathead, which will give you access to a Phillips head screw on both sides. You'll now be able to lift the center console off. On top of the steering wheel there is a bolt here and a bolt here. Alright guys, so you're on the last few stages. The last 3 things you're going to have to disconnect is the yellow clip for the airbag. And inside the steering column itself, you'll see this black cable. If you stick your hand in, grab the cable and push down, it'll release the cord so you have more access to the back of the dashboard. You're going to have to remove this AC vent. In order to do that, you're gonna have to get your trim removal tool, stick it here in this top rail, pry that open, and then stick it here in on the sides and pop those. On the bottom here, you're gonna pry that up as well. And once you have all of those clips popped, they'll come off just like this, which will give you access to that plug. In order to have gotten this white connector off, there is a screw on the top side of it. You might find the job easier removing this ignition connector. It's one screw on top. The final thing you will need in order to remove the dashboard can be found underneath the passenger side. That connector can also be seen on top of the car through the windshield. Okay guys, so when removing the dashboard, there are some things to consider. This is a slightly illegal brief because it's not so clear cut. So in my state, California, and probably across the United States, if you're watching this from another country, I can't really help you. I'm not sure how they work their Department of Motor Vehicles or whatever they call it over there. Whatever the controlling entity is over driving vehicles on motorways in your state or country, you need to look into that, because in the state of California and in the United States, the dashboard of the G35 holds the VIN plate. The VIN plate is the vehicle identification number that the DMV and the Highway Patrol looks at whenever you get pulled over, whenever you need to register your vehicle or get it inspected. And there are 3 VINs on your vehicle. There's one at the door, there's one at the dashboard, and there's also another one on the engine side compartment of the firewall. Now, those 3 VINs have to match on your vehicle. It's an anti-theft thing to ensure that no cars are being stolen and then put through a chop because you can't really switch out those 3 DMVs. You can't tamper with them. TMVs, those VINs, you can't really change out those VINs. You can't tamper with them. So my thinking was I was just going to drill out the rivets that are holding on the VIN on the donor dashboard, and then take my original VIN plate and glue it on top. So that it's the appropriate VIN showing. However, since you can't tamper with the VINs on your vehicle, what you're gonna have to do is take your vehicle to California Highway Patrol, if you're in California, or whatever state or country regulates motor vehicles. Set up an appointment with them. They'll inspect the vehicle, make sure that the 2 VINs on the door and on the firewall match. Once they do that, I'm sure there's a paperwork process that you're gonna have to fill out, and then they will give you a sticker to place on your door to notify everyone who's gonna look at the vehicle after, so they know that the vehicle has been altered and it's legal. So make sure you guys do that. That's the last thing you guys need to know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and share with your friends. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.